been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Doe's Eat Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 70s to lower 80s. We will see partly cloudy skies tonight, upper 50s. A chance of showers and thunderstorms across the south will be in the lower 60s. And then showers and chance of thunderstorms on Thursday, highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You're listening to The Morning Rush. It's a lot of
pleasant good morning on an overcast, cloudy day in northwest Arkansas. Welcome into halftime. This is ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson at Baum-Walker Stadium. We'll have a game again about 5 o'clock? Yeah, 6 hours from now. Final home midweek game of the season. Which is, man, it's amazing. Only got like a month left in the regular season for baseball. In 2 months, the College World Series will be reaching a crescendo, entering the championship series. So we're already down to the point where you're looking at the last of something for a baseball season. Only 2 midweek games left, one of them at home, and then next week against Missouri State on the road. So just really happy to have games, actual sporting events to go attend and report back from and do live broadcasts from in an era right now of in spring football where nobody's watching the spring games, even if they're being played. And more than anything, the talk in college sports is, I wouldn't even say the business of college sports. It's kind of a what the heck is going on these days in college sports kind of a conversation. Good morning, Matt Jones. Good morning, Christian Johnston. It's great to be with you guys. Matt, the glow, I guess, is off from the birthday. And today you're just a regular old average guy, which I guess that's kind of the way you like it, right?
It's pedestrian at best, Phil. It is, good to be here with you. Had a good time up there in Springdale. Mark and Laura got to hang out and watch the first half of the Man City Villa game with Laura, and that was pretty cool. And then it was just awesome theater. In the 90th minute, so +4 stoppage time, Man City goes ahead and wins. And I told you it's for Champions League place game. There's 5 games left, but Man City kind of controlled their own. It was a big game yesterday.
Wow! So you've recovered from the excitement to be back here today, and we read Hunter Yurachek's statement yesterday, the tweet that he'd put out, which doesn't name a specific athlete at Arkansas, but I think everybody knows who it is that he's speaking about in terms of pursuing rights for Arkansas Edge under an agreement violated by student athletes moving forward to be able to recoup the NIL funds that were taken away. And I kind of thought it was a little bit odd how. And it's not odd that everybody rallied around Tennessee, or that most people, that the public opinion rallied around Tennessee in the saga involving Nico Iamaleava. And I feel like Arkansas is getting the same treatment from people around college sports that are looking at the absurdity of paying somebody the single snap for you in a game that mattered. Yeah, it's kind of odd looking how Tennessee gets people to rally around them, because they're very much a polarizing force in college sports. I don't think the Hogs are necessarily, but I do feel like, Matt, I think public opinion is not only in Tennessee's corner, but they're in Arkansas's corner too, with this wild saga that continues and may continue for a while longer.
So what's they're trying to get money recouped, so the school is suing the player? Do I have this correct, or what?
I don't know exactly
how bad does that hurt.
Going at that.
And I guess my question to you, Phil, is doesn't the school kind of has to? Man, that's so tricky, because that would everybody would use that against them in recruiting.
That's what I wondered about.
I just don't know how it really. It's just, man, that's going to be messy.
And I mean, Steve Sullivan from KETV posited that exact question on Twitter yesterday about, does this look in a certain way to the Razorback athletic department that's gonna look poorly upon future athletes? And it's so if I say that public opinion mostly is rallying around Tennessee's position and Arkansas's position, with the knowledge that the players and the Iamaleava family is basically trying to get what they can while the iron is hot. That's how I look at it, taking advantage of a system with no rules right now and basically, saying, well, we've got the leverage here. I think if you're an organization and you feel that you're being screwed, and you have contract language that shows that you give us this, we'll give you this. I don't know exactly what the language shows in the contract. If you're being paid for games, or if you're being paid for, well, of course it's not being paid for games. If it's NIL, it's about your name, image, and likeness. You're not allowed to make it being paid for a game. And that's, to me, Matt, is kind of a little bit of the crux of the argument here. What is it the university is paying for? Because in the NFL, you know that they're paying, they call it a game check. Nobody calls it a game check in college sports. Maybe that needs to be where you get to where, well, this is the real value of what it is that you're giving us. These 60 minutes of this game, of this sport, this game of football, which you're going to practice for in the spring, and you're not paid for that necessarily. And we may give you a stipend, we may give you something about it, yes, maybe some NIL money too, but in terms of a game check, and I think the ability to recoup money in that case, because I view it the same way with coaches. The coaches, to me, it's like they're paid for coaching games. There's everything else that goes into it, but you're paid for coaching games. And contract language is respected in college sports with the coaches because of these buyouts, which now colleges are trying to, or might have been starting to get away from. But you also know that the colleges and the universities view the coaches as employees. So you can look at it like an employee relationship where the product is the sport and you're paid for that game. They don't look at that the same way with the student athletes, Matt, because the universities do not want them to be employees. So what are you paid for as an athlete? Are you paid for the game, or are you paid just for your name and for being at practice and battling for a second string or a third string job? Like, that's the part of this that comes across as, well, we have to find a definition of what it is that you're being paid for. But as far as I know how I view this. If the kid's getting away with money that he didn't truly earn to the letter of what the contract says, absolutely go back and get that money. I don't know if it's going to look bad to a point where kids will say, well, they're going to screw me over if I choose to go somewhere else at Arkansas. But I do wonder if there are some other universities that will look at this situation, see how it plays out, and take their cues from the result of this.
Don't you think we should be more here's the other thing, Phil, that there's no transparency. We hear kind of when it's over, you start hearing stuff, but when it's I don't understand how we can form really like a judgment or opinion on this stuff because we don't hear the whole story.
Well, I mean, sooner or later there'll be I guess the story comes out, but it may come out in court or it may come out in a way, the sort of negotiation when it comes down to it doesn't become public. But man, you do want to peek behind. You do want to peek behind the curtain here. But I think it has to do with what is it that a university is actually paying an athlete for. They don't want it to be for the games because that makes them employees. And now you're talking something that the athletic departments don't want. But I do think if you view these as employees and you say, well, you're paid for the games, well, and you've already paid somebody. Here's the thing that I wonder if they've paid Madden any money right now, why was the money spent towards him to begin with? What was it that he would have done in the last 3 months that warrant the payment? Because if you've already paid him the money, does that mean that you got what you expected for those payments specifically? That's what I'm saying. So we got people texting in say he did not fulfill his obligation, is what Joey says. I just don't know what the obligation is, Joey. Like, what is it that you're paid for as a student athlete? If you go and read about this house settlement, the universities do not want to be paying them as employees. They just want to be buying their name, image, and likeness rights and spending their money on that. So it just becomes nebulous as to what if he did not fulfill his obligation, what was his obligation? That's my question. Or was it tied to a 1 year period? And it's like, well, you're either here for a year or you give that money back. And you're right, Matt. We don't know what these things necessarily say. And we don't know what conversations might have been held behind no microphones either. But I do feel like people are in Arkansas's corner. The one set of people, and this goes to your question as to does this reflect negatively upon future potential Razorbacks, are a section of people that are not in Arkansas and Tennessee's favor those future athletes. They might be the ones that are looking at it from the family's perspective, potentially. That's all I'm saying. Maybe that does hurt you in that case. I don't know.
Has the NCAA lost its amateur status or nonprofit status? Are they still claiming this stuff?
I'm pretty sure they are still nonprofit for now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. Well, it's a completely messed up situation. And any of your opinions on this, we'll take them in. We want your calls. We want your texts. Where do you come in on this? Who is it that you're behind? And we're speaking of Razorback fans, so I would imagine that 99% of you are in Arkansas's corner. And you might feel the same way about Tennessee. And if you're a Razorback fan, well, when it comes to being on the field and on the court, you really don't like Tennessee very much. But I think in this business sense, at least in this one instance, you're probably in Tennessee's corner too. This and much more throughout the show involving, of course, Arkansas basketball. Boogie Flan says he's going to go into the portal while staying eligible for the draft. And Cal says that Boogie's 100% in on the draft, but then he's still announcing he's going into the transfer portal, which might say something a little bit more about how the coaching staff views an incoming freshman that might play the same position. So we'll hit on that as well with Alyssa Orange, who couldn't join us yesterday, but she's on with us on the phone today at 1:15. We've got 1 hour with Clay Henry from Whole Hog Sports. He'll be on with us from noon until 1. Grant Hall in just a moment, plus your calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. It's 877-377-6963. Stay with us. Grant Hall joins halftime after this.
Matt Jones, sir, a player that I refer to that provided Hog Delight. You're a great ambassador for our program.
This is halftime.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics. A rabbit and a hat trick. Just that classic rap.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
For yourself, or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
You think the people would have had a silly love song? But look around me and see it isn't so. Some people wanna fill the world with silly love songs. And what's wrong with that? I'd like to know. 'Cause here I go. Yeah.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Grant Hall's with us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Grant, they were kind of tight-lipped about it yesterday. I had no idea until Zach Arns had mentioned it to us yesterday at the All-American Steakhouse. And the only reason Zach knew is because he does work for the Naturals sometimes. That Clayton Kershaw was going to be pitching against the Naturals a year after Justin Verlander was at Arvest Park. So I didn't have the choice. I had to call Arkansas versus Little Rock. If I had a choice, man, I mean, you don't get to see a future Hall of Famer pitch very much. Which one did you take advantage of?
Well, I went to the Arkansas game not really knowing till after the fact about Kershaw, and I would have gone to Arkansas anyway, like you. But, I got to see Verlander. I got to see Nootbaar in Springdale, Ortiz, and I'm trying to think it seemed like there was one other notable major leaguer in that group I was telling you about. But, that would have been fun. I guess he did okay last night. He had done well against Oklahoma City, and but he's on the 60-day, so I'm not sure when he's coming back. Are you to the Dodgers?
I guess it would be 60 days from when the Major League season begins. So, I mean, it's still going to be till the end of May, I would think. So, who knows? Maybe you'll see him pitch here again.
They're struggling a little bit. The Dodgers started off like a house on fire, and then I see today where Ohtani, who had the paternity leave, is at 264. Betts is at 231. Those don't look right. Tommy Edmonds hit 8 home runs for them, though, and every time I think about that, I get sick because he was I don't know why the Cardinals let him go. It's crazy.
Wow. The Cardinals have had some interesting decisions in recent years. Not much to watch in the NL Central right now, is there? Somebody asked the other day, you think anybody's really going to come out? I mean, somebody's going to be a division champion, but there won't be a wild card team out of the Central this year. At least I don't think there will.
I was talking to Dan Reardon, a longtime friend in golf circles who's been on KMOX for a long time in St. Louis, and he's not very high on like they've only got one really great prospect, I think, in the minor leagues right now, the Cardinals, and it's just kind of like they're marking time until something. I don't know. But they did win last night 10-4 over Atlanta, which is also struggling in the early season.
Go ahead,
well,
man.
I was gonna change the subject a little bit, Grant. NFL draft coming up. I mean, it's gonna. I believe it's Thursday. Landon Jackson. I think we all believe. I think he's gonna have success. He could be an All-Pro. I totally love his game. Who's the second Razorback off the board?
Well, I think we were talking last week about maybe Armstrong, but I'm not so sure it's not Tesla.
Wouldn't that just be crazy, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would. But I saw today, I guess it's going to be Travis Hunter going second because Cam Ward, it looks like Tennessee is going to take him number one. Now, I guess these things could change, but right now that looks like the top two. And, the thing with Hunter is he's, got to find a place that's willing to, he really wants to play both ways.
Well, you put a package in for him, right? Like you kind of, you stroke his ego. I get it. Like and he's uber talented. No question about it. But you can't play 112 snaps in an NFL game for 16 games. You're not going to be able to.
Listen to the kid talk.
I read his story. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, listen to Travis Hunter talk. All he talks about is I want to be a two-way guy.
That's why you put a package in. Yeah, he's playing. I'm not saying he doesn't play offensive defense every single game. He just you got to get him off the field a little bit.
It's like, why would you draft him and say no? This is what you are, because I mean that's bringing somebody in that's automatically going to have the wrong attitude about what you want him to be. It just, to me, it wouldn't make any sense, Grant.
Well, there's a story today about Champ Bailey, did this, and of course Dion did it and had some success. But Bailey talked about how all the meetings you have to go to and how time consuming it all is just on one side of the ball. But I mean, to me, that's kind of overcomplicating. And I mean, I'm with you, Matt. If the guy can do it, just give him a package. And,
let him react. You don't have to make it difficult for him. Let him make plays. Let him use his natural instinct. That's kind of like who's the outside linebacker at LSU that was like freshman of the year in on defense. Just he single-handedly beat us when we had our backup quarterback in, and we couldn't block him. And then it's like they get a new they change his role and don't let him be instinctual. It's like let the dude play football.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and we'll just have to see what happens with it. But I mean, reading this thing that Bailey said, it was like it sounded impossible, and I'm thinking, hey, come on, just did you see the picture in Sports Illustrated of Bailey with the two big fish he caught that just came out recently? I thought that was kind of interesting. Apparently, he's pretty good at fishing too.
Wait, who is that?
Travis Hunter, did I say?
He's a good fisher too. He's a good fisherman. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like he's pretty good at anything he might put his time into. There's just some people that are pretty good about that. I don't know. You be a baseball tonight. You know these Wednesday games. I know like Wednesday baseball games in college are usually kind of crazy and you never know what to expect. But I just have a feeling of what to expect today, Grant, and it's something like 15 or 16 runs because that's what's happened in the previous 3 Wednesday games. So, I don't know. I'm not asking for a prediction of a final score. It's just you want to get the good feelings going on the road against Florida, but I still don't see evidence that anything that happens midweek in college baseball carries over to the weekends.
Well, I did like last night that everybody pretty much hit up and down the lineup except, let's see, I guess Cujillo went 0 for 3, right? The other guys got at least a hit. It's good to see Frazier get 2 hits. He came and talked after the game, and I say tonight advisedly because it's a 5:00 game and it's on SEC Network. If people can't get to the game tonight, it was a good crowd last night. It was a fun atmosphere. I thought a lot of ULR fans there, and the biggest thing to me, Phil, and I heard you talk about this before the game, I believe, was Dietz, and so. We asked Dave about it afterwards, and I don't know, maybe if they'd have played 9 innings, maybe he'd have pitched last night. He's going to pitch tonight. He's not going to start. Fisher is going to start the game. We finally dragged that out of him, late in the press conference. But to me, man, if Dietz could come back and be another guy, we saw what Wiggins did last night. 3 strikeouts, 13 pitches, 4 away from an immaculate inning, I guess. If you had 2 guys like that, all of a sudden you'd look a lot different toward postseason.
Well, I think that was important for Wiggins yesterday. I think what they told him is, we want to run rule this team. The score's 10-0, but we want you to act like it's 1-0 here, because that's a thing that I do wonder about. Who are you going to give the ball to in the 9th inning? Because you're going to be playing teams these next 4 weeks where there are going to be 9th inning situations where somebody's got to come in and slam the door. And I'm not sure if they're too confident in who to give that job to. And I don't know if it'd be Jimenez. Like, he's going to come in the 5th or the 6th inning. I don't know if it'll be By, because he'll come in earlier in the game. I'm talking about a fireman that you bring on in the 8th or 9th inning in a 1-run game to pour water on a potential rally. And I think they told Wiggins to act like that was the situation yesterday.
Yeah, that was good. Dylan Carter had a good inning too. This team, I mean, the 35-7 is really good. I wouldn't worry too much about losing 4 out of 6. It's going to happen in this conference to anybody, But Florida this weekend could be. I know they're not up there in the standings, but that's always a tough place to go. And then the last 3 are ridiculous. Texas and LSU and Tennessee. Is that right? Is that the last 3?
That's the last one. That's right.
Conference opponents.
Yeah.
So there's going to be plenty to say grace over, but to me, it still all leads toward postseason and what can you do there. And David kind of has an edge to him these days, and I think he knows the potential that this team has, and so you want to maximize it. And I think it was tough losing Souza. They're going to get Parker Coyle back at some point, which is good. But I still think this team could do a lot of damage at Omaha, and it's going to be fun to watch everything leading up to it.
Hey, Grant, I know we're about 3 weeks away from Quail Hollow PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy, starting the majors off, and Tiger has that stat where he's won like 50% of his tournaments. He's won on the same 5 golf courses, and we know Rory's success he's had at Quail Hollow. Do you have him as the early favorite? And if you're Rory, how many of these tournaments do you play before going into the PGA Championship?
Well, he's playing kind of a fun thing with Lowry this week at New Orleans.
They won it last year.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe not too much before that. I also say look at Justin Thomas, because he won the last time that thing was played there. What was it, 17 maybe? He was really young when he won that first major, and now he's won again last week. He's got a lot of confidence. So yeah, I would probably start with those two if you're handicapping Charlotte coming up. And Scheffler hasn't won this year. He's been all around it, 2-3 shots back in a lot of tournaments. So he's probably getting more and more frustrated too.
Grant, I got to close on just the situation here with the Iamaleava family, and I guess we would have talked with you last week about the situation with Nico. Well, we all knew, and plenty of people sent in on the text line, that they expected the same thing may happen with his younger brother, and it does. Do you think going after the NIL money could negatively impact recruiting? I mean, I think public opinion is firmly on the school side in that case, but then there's also another side of that public opinion, which could be, in a lot of cases, potential future recruits.
Yeah, I mean, this family, what was it, 1.8, I guess we're reading, and then I don't know how much Iamaleava, who was at Arkansas, is going to get. But it could be that he went through the spring and, and saw maybe himself third behind, behind Green and KJ Jackson. The thing I kind of wonder about is those two guys competing for the same position at UCLA, which apparently has enough money to do this. What's that going to be like, competing with your brother for playing time? But somebody was telling me last night that Arkansas may sort of resist. In other words, he got this money to come to Arkansas, and he was here for a spring but never played. And so who's going to be the first school to step out there and say, wait a minute, we want our money back? I mean, have you heard that? Have you guys heard that the UA may be considering trying to get his money back?
That was the tweet from Hunter Yurchek yesterday. It's basically exactly what he said without naming the athlete. And I think they're perfectly within their rights to do so. If the contract language says one thing and you don't get that aspect of what you spent your money on, sure, go after it. I just wonder what it is that the contract states, and what is it that the athletes are paid for in college. And they're paid for reasons that are different than pro sports. They're paid in college now for their NIL likeness, not for the games. And in pro sports, it's the other way around. You may have to get to a point where you're actually paying them for the games, which makes them employees, and Grant, the schools don't want that.
Yeah, and I mean, that would be interesting to see the language, and I guess it's maybe it'll get lawyered up, just being here for a spring, fulfill what money you got. I'm sure maybe they'll fight that out.
Grant, appreciate you, man. We'll see you out here at Bowen Walker later today. Always appreciate you joining us on these Wednesdays. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Can't wait for the game tonight. See you guys.
Absolutely. It's Grant Hall with us every Wednesday on Halftime. And on Wednesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina, kids are the stars. First of all, the kids get a great meal for $5. There's crayons, a coloring contest, cool prizes for the kids, and Wednesday night is kids karaoke night at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Kids fun, families love it. Wednesday nights at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th, right across from Harps in Fort Smith. Our Lewis Automotive Hotline opens right now, 877-377-6963. And back right after this.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Adventure doesn't wait, and neither should you. Start your next journey at Arkansas's #1 fifth wheel dealer, Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas. No matter the size of your family or your budget, Wheels RV has a new travel trailer or fifth wheel to help you explore the great outdoors. And with our exclusive lifetime warranty on every new RV, you can hit the open road with peace of mind. Come see us on 412 in Tawnytown or check us out at wheelsrv.net. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Have fun storming the castle.
This is halftime.
Wave Rural Connect is excited to introduce our new 300 megabit internet service. Perfect for streaming, remote work, and homework for just $64.95 a month. Get no worries, cyber safe managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more. Call or text Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747. That's 479-274-1747. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
At Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville,
we know you have many places to buy a car. Our competitive pricing and no-pressure sales team
has made us your premier GMC and Chevrolet dealer in the River Valley for almost 50 years.
Our impressive inventory is changing daily. Shop online 24/7 at philwright.com.
For a simplified buying process, trust Phil Wright Autoplex. Great inventory, great prices, and an overall great buying experience. Exit 84 off I-40, Russellville.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Can you explain the infield fly rule? Neither can I, but I can help you navigate a variety of legal issues, from divorce to personal injury to estate planning. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions, a new law firm offering affordable flat fees with payment plans available. You get an ace at the price of a minor leaguer. Now that sounds like a grand slam to me. Call Mock Legal Solutions for your free consultation, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
I want to ride my bicycle.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When you lost in a daydream, you got a special way. What would you say? Is that like pictures of me?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Very interesting finals in SEC baseball yesterday. It was not a great day to be, Tuesday baseball. It kind of happens. The Razorback game was one of about a handful that were run rules, including an SEC team that got run ruled. You all know who it is. Oh, there were two of them that got run ruled yesterday. Both of them are Tigers. For Missouri to be run ruled by Missouri State is one thing. Missouri stinks. They've given up, I think. 11-0 the final score there. Missouri State's playing very well, and the Hogs get them next Tuesday, which will be a good game. The other Tigers that got run ruled was the 5th-ranked team in the country, LSU, at home, at the box by Northwestern State. The Northwestern State scored the final 6 runs of the game, and they win it 13-3 at the box. I remember seeing Arkansas lose the first game they ever played against Little Rock, which was 2019. Was that a run rule game? It was 17-7. I don't remember if we played the full 9. But that's just the worst thing, to get run ruled on your home field. If it's a weekend, that's still going to be embarrassing. But when it happens midweek and you're 5th in the country, oh, goodness. But I do wonder whether or not Jay Johnson would have the same answer that, and it's too bad I couldn't find the audio of this. Tim Corbin, head coach for Vanderbilt yesterday. Vandy loses at home to Middle Tennessee 5-3. And post-game, Corbin is asked what his message is for his team. This is the greatest answer I've ever heard that is partially filthy without really being filthy. His answer of his message to his team is, quote, "It starts with F and ends with K," unquote.
And then has another word called off after it. No, it's you just tell the kids they better change their major and go to class because none of them are going to be making money playing the sport they love after if you can't.
But what did they just swept Georgia? They just swept Georgia, a top 10 team, and they lose at home in a Tuesday game, which happens in college baseball. And Corbin's head is ready to pop off, or he's going to drop very subtle F-bombs at his team through the media. I got the biggest kick out of that.
That's I guess you're true. I think when I first started doing this show with you, Phil, you said the midweek games are the drunkest games in college sports. Mm-hmm. It's just like they don't make a lot of sense sometimes.
There's nothing like it in college sports. In no other sport is there a game, and I don't even know if it's a matter of other sports where the day of the week decides what the game usually feels like, because college football's played the same day every week. Unless you play in the MAC or Conference USA, Big Ten's doing Friday night games or whatever, but it's not based on who your starting pitcher is, and that's basically what the midweek games are based on. It's drunk is the right word, and college baseball, Matt, is the drunkest form of baseball after high school, but then there's nothing like, I don't even know which way to put it here. Wednesday baseball would be like Jim Morrison at the end of his life, drunk. College baseball,
but he had a cool beard and a belly.
Yeah. That there's different levels of being inebriated. Wednesday night is you probably need to go get some help. That kind of baseball.
Would the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman say in Almost Famous? He said anybody can act like a drunken buffoon. The Who are real musicians.
Okay, so you could translate that to baseball and say on a Wednesday, okay, anybody can throw a pitch to the backstop, but we expect this pitch to be 10 feet above the batter's head. That's the difference. But yesterday, Little Rock makes 5 errors. And we always would. It's funny too, and you never know about this. Because Chris Curry's team is usually identified as, well, they're going to be a fundamentally sound team, and then 5 errors yesterday. So go figure. I guess that was one of the things that proves to you that the game was just a little bit drunk yesterday 5 errors. But at least Arkansas won that game because the last team that made 5 errors against them was Georgia, and Georgia won that ball game, which I still wonder. I don't remember seeing a team commit that many errors in a game, and I thought, whoa, like they won the game? With that many errors, it shouldn't happen. 10-0 loss with 5 errors makes a hell of a lot more sense than a 7-6 win with 5 errors. Who knows? Maybe, and that's the worst part about it for Little Rock yesterday. When your biggest total is errors, more than your runs, more than your hits, is kind of a forgettable day for you. Yeah, Texas almost lost too. Texas, in fact, it looked like they might have been pretty close to getting run ruled. They were down 11 to 4, and then score the final 10 runs of the ball game to walk off against Texas State. So, and that's the number 1 team in the country that's playing better than anybody. So it's always going to be there for you. There will always be proof that midweek baseball in college is the absolute weirdest baseball. And then tonight will be the last one of those that we get. So this is like the way to go out. It's the last drink of the season.
And we get NFL draft, I believe, is it Thursday night?
Tomorrow night?
Yeah, and so the latest mock I just saw, I've been kind of looking at some of this stuff, and they got Cam Ward is kind of like the 8th overall player, 7 players better than him, but he's still going to go number 1. But I saw Landon Jackson had moved up to 41 on best available before the draft starts. Man, he could very easily go in the first round, Phil. Like I think that some team get him now. Quarterbacks, they want that extra year. I think Landon Jackson is a guy that when he gets to camp, when he gets there, he's a starter. Like he's a guy that can go in there and start day one in the NFL.
Well, and so much of this is who needs.
Yeah, what do you need?
Who needs what he is going to be able
Doesn't
to
he
do?
feel like a Detroit line? Like
I know you've pointed that out.
I think the Detroit late, like he feels like a Pittsburgh Steeler too. I think he's Justin Tuck. If you remember, the Giants had got Justin Tuck from Notre Dame. He's real similar to me in that aspect. He feels like a Detroit line.
How many downs in a series? How many downs do you see Jackson playing? Like, is he a third down guy too? Because I always envisioned him at Arkansas as a pass rush guy, but then you start to notice, and you pointed this out to us last year, and it was obvious to watch too, he's really good against the run.
Yeah, he is. He's an every down guy, and you some of these guys will be a little skinnier and a little bit more bendy as far as that you just bring on in third downs. That's what they specialized in. He's an his motor, his work ethic, his strength, and the fact that first of all, I know we say we want you to get to the passer, Phil, 100%. But you know what you got to do first? You got to be able to stop the run. I mean, that's just, if you can't stop the run, you can't win, and you can't win on Sundays.
Well, it was Detroit. I mean, they had all those injuries on defense.
See, that's the thing. So bring him in. You're going to get Hutchinson back, who is a top 10, top 5 DN. You put him in the fold. That culture you got. I mean, you think T.J. Watt, match him up there at Pittsburgh. I just think he's such a good piece. That whoever gets him, I think, would be lucky.
So then, where were the Lions here as far as
they're the 28th pick?
Man, that's a sweet spot.
That's
You're
what I'm saying.
That's a real sweet spot. But the problem then is, it's like, so if you're viewed potentially as a back of the first round, start of the second round guy, now I guess there's also a difference in potentially available playing time depending on who it is that you go to, but it's like the difference between being taken in the last pick of the first round, Super Bowl champion Philadelphia, and the dregs of the AFC North, Cleveland, is one pick.
Don't go to Cleveland. They got Myles Garrett, and don't get me wrong, they just gave him a lot of money. I don't think. Oh man, don't go to Cleveland.
Don't go to Cleveland. Yes, please don't go to Cleveland, because I would like to root for Landon Jackson throughout his entire career. And it just can't. I don't think there's been a moment where I've ever pulled for anybody involved in the Cleveland Browns. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, that is my parentally given right.
I had a year or two that I pulled for him, Phil, when Dow Loggins was on the offensive staff there. So but then you're like, Dow, don't go to Cleveland, Dow.
Matt, if you played for the Cleveland Browns, I love you, man.
I get it.
I love you, but I just can't. That's a step too far for me. It really is. literally is a step too far. 877-377-6963, our number for calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Hey, you can help out the Mercy Foundation Birdies for Babies tournament. They're going to be raising money for Mercy Fort Smith's 3A NICU at the Maternal Child Services at Mercy Fort Smith. Great fundraiser. It's a golf tournament at Hardscrabble Country Club. It's called the Mercy Fort Smith's Birdies for Babies on May 12th. 4-person scramble. You get morning and afternoon tee times. All the proceeds benefit Maternal Child Services and the Level 3A NICU. So you never really want to worry about having a resource like that in your hometown until you need it. And Fort Smith is lucky enough to have it at Mercy. You can help out, again, by signing up for the 4-person scramble for the Birdies for Babies Golf Classic at Hardscrabble on May 12th. MercyHealthFoundation.net, Birdies for Babies, or 479-314-1133 for more information. We'll break and wrap up the first hour of halftime right after this.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Call the Hogs in 2025. You can renew your football season tickets today and be there for marquee matchups inside Razorback Stadium.
And Pittman heads toward midfield, and Arkansas wins the football game.
This year, the Hogs face off against Texas A&M, Auburn, and for the very first time, a matchup with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You can renew your tickets through the March 31st deadline. For more information about Razorback football tickets, just visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Join ESPN Arkansas for the Morning Rush and Halftime, live this Friday at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren. It's their first annual fish fry and grand opening. Come by for a delicious free fish platter, fried pie, store prizes, and a whole lot more. It's the grand opening and first annual fish fry at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren, 120 North 30th Street, just off Kibler in Van Buren. Join us this Friday at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Looking on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, Matt, I know you like a good comp from a college player to a pro to kind of visualize what he may be. Chris from Springdale thinks a good comparison for Landon Jackson is Justin Tuck, formerly with the Giants.
Yeah. Same like him, kind of. You remember when you had Dwight Freeney and Rashid Mathis, I think, from the Colts? They're both a little bit different. And that's kind of what you're looking for with Landon Jackson. He's a run stopper first, and that's what Tuck was. And there you kind of got it. I go back to Jacksonville and Del Rio and kind of the way we did our defense. We had Rashid Mathis, who was our cover guy. That man, we might match him up. He might be boundary side, whatever. He might follow the best receiver all day, whatever our scheme was. And then we went and got a guy named B. Williams that was a cover 2 corner from Minnesota that could set the edge, could go. He wanted to come in and hit. And so you want to have guys that kind of specialize in different things so you can scheme it up a little bit.
I think Jackson would be pretty good at just also knocking down. He's so tall. Just being able to reach up, bat that pass down with his hands as well if he can't get to the quarterback. And I'm excited to see what he can do at the next level. I just like to see him with a good team too. You're right. The Lions would fit well. I still think Tesla's going to be the second one picked. But after that, it may be a while until there's another Razorback selected. I guess Jaquindon Jackson as well. You can see him mid-rounds maybe. So definitely a guy that looks like a pro running back. Someone that can, I don't know if he's going to be.
He'll get drafted. If he's healthy, he's
good. He'll be good for depth at the position for whatever team takes him. Hour number 2 is coming up. We'll have the one and only Clay Henry, who you can read at Whole Hog Sports. He's with us for 1 hour. And then Alyssa Orange joining us at 1:15. We can still take your calls, get your texts all throughout hour number 2. On the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Remember, WT Equipment, home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. They've got 7 locations, including one in Springdale. WTEquip.com for a look at all of the New Holland tractors and hay equipment and twin rotor combines that they've got in stock. WT Equipment is your partner in progress. And it's Clay Henry with us on halftime right after the break.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new Ultra Matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 70s to lower 80s. We will see partly cloudy skies tonight, upper 50s. A chance of showers and thunderstorms across the south will be in the lower 60s. And then showers and chance of thunderstorms on Thursday, highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
I said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one racer back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hello and welcome back. 12:01 and a very pleasant good afternoon listening in on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson. I am at Baum-Walker Stadium, where right now home plate is being tended to by a single man on a tractor. I guess he's getting ready to drag the infield at some point. Matt Jones and Kristen Johnston in our ESPN Arkansas studios, and the one and only Clay Henry from Whole Hog Sports, features editor. You can read him at Whole Hog Sports. Will join us for this hour. And since I got to get out tomorrow a little bit early with Arkansas traveling to Florida, Clay will be on for the last hour of the show tomorrow. Clay, good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear your voice, too. Hey, I'm looking out right now, and I think our boy is fishing in Norm's Lake at this very moment.
You know what he's doing? I know what he's doing.
What is he doing?
He's measuring the lake. He's
For
got
what?
a pole. Depth. He's doing a map of Lake Norm.
He's got a pole.
He's actually mapping
Yes.
the floor of Lake DeBrine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has never been done before.
No, well, we don't have any record of it. If it's been done, it got somebody didn't leave it with us. But so he's got Nolan Souza out there to record the data.
Not like Nolan's got much else to worry about.
No,
that
no.
busted shoulder.
He's got a clipboard and a pen, and he can hold the clipboard with his right hand, and he can write a number down. That's all he's got to do, write a number.
Very good. Now, Matt Jones, I know you're interested in fishing. You wouldn't even tell me where your fishing hole was about 12 years ago.
Whoa.
Well, that's before we got to know each other really well.
Right,
now these days you might tell me. But as much of a person as you are that likes to fish, would you ever in your life think that you would maybe map the floor of any body of water? I mean, I wouldn't even map the floor of my bathtub.
Yeah, you have those things in your bass boat. A lot of people have those depth finders and ways to be able to figure it out. And then you also, whenever you go, all those shad, all those crankbaits don't go the same depth. Like some of them are 1 to 2 feet, some of them are 3 to 5, depending on where you're going. If you're floating Lee Creek, if you're floating Kings River, wherever you're going, you might float a worm. You might not float it. You might put a little baby weight in there where it doesn't actually go all the way to the bottom, so it stays a little bit suspended. I mean, there's just so many things. I mean, if you're into it, you're into it.
You're speaking the kind of language that Clay understands. Seth and Rogers texts in with the question that I might have asked, which is, can't you just go into the pond with a tape measure? I mean, can this not work too?
Well, but it's a lot quicker with the pole. So what the pole is a tape measure.
Okay.
So they've marked the depth on the pole. So it's, first of all, a tape measure is flimsy. You'd have to attach it to the pole to do it any good. But why not just take a Sharpie and mark the depth, and when you hit it, you holler out to Nolan, 4 feet 8.
This is hilarious. It's like, of all the reasons why you may come to play at whatever school you choose. And I know Cam Kozel's mentioned why he chose Arkansas and that the lake was like a thing that attracted him, but there's no way he could have actually thought that he would be spending all that time at the body of water that's located right next door to where he practices on a daily basis. Plus there's a game today, so it's like and the guy's got a lot of pregame traditions. He's got the Gregorian chants. He writes in his journal. Yesterday I saw Cam do some pregame visualization.
You sent me pictures.
I
Yeah.
sent Clay photos of this. I'm there writing lineups before batting practice even started. Cam's the first guy on the field. He's there in the dugout. And the next thing you know, and there's guys that are working on the field. I mean, lining the field and getting it prepared for the workout. And Cam goes up there, stands at home plate with a bat, and you can see he's practicing visualization and swings. And then, and keep in mind, Kozel only hits left-handed. Then he switches over to the other side of the plate and did it right-handed. And he looked like a left-handed batter swinging a bat right-handed when he was doing it too. And I think he knew it because it was just one. But I've never seen anybody with more pregame things you got to do than Cam Kozel. And I guess mapping the lake at the ballpark would be one of them today.
Yep, and if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. It's like you couldn't have a better kid. And it's like, as far as the coaches are concerned, they can look out their window. Well, there's Cam. We don't know where everybody else is right now, but we know where Cam is. And
Yeah.
Cam's just fine. And the other part about it is, if he goes out and gets 3 hits like he did last night, the coaches are really fine with whatever he's doing. That sets him up to get 3 hits.
Whatever it is that he does. Matt, I think I even told you this line from Crash Davis recently, and this might not even be the exact line, but this is what he's telling him. You respect the streak. If you're getting 3 hits a game because you're catching a fish before the game, then you are, and you continue doing that. If you're getting 3 hits a game because you're wearing women's underwear, well, then you are, and you continue doing that too.
So Sunday afternoon, I get a picture of Cam with his girlfriend Natalie, and he's holding the fish, and she's standing beside, and he tried to get her. I guess it's video. Tried to get her to hold it. She wouldn't hold the fish. So we got some things to work on with that relationship. She's going to have to learn how to hold a fish.
I almost have to hesitate putting it in this way, Clay. But you've gotten to know a lot of the athletes at Arkansas. I think in a different way than than some other media members too, and it's a little more difficult now to get into the weeds personally with them.
Access is tougher. Yes.
Yeah, well, access is tougher, and there's a buffer. It's like you can't have that face-to-face conversation in the locker room that you used to have because it's all done in a press conference situation, though. But I do think, and again, I hesitate to say it this way, but it's just how you connect with people. But I do feel like you have found a favorite player for the year, and maybe a favorite.
I like other ones too.
Yeah,
yeah. I've got he's not my grandson, but he calls me Grandpa, among other things. Lives in Loveland, Colorado, and he was headed home after we had a big birthday celebration here on the river. His family has a weekend house on the river. His dad and mom do. So they come here a lot. He's from Ozark. The Gage family, people in Ozark will know the Gages. They're Gages are like, first family of Ozark, so to speak. And their son is 9, and he's a good ball player, and he's got a Razorback ball cap, with the script A on it, that was given to him at our birthday party here by our family. He's got it on. He's walking through the airport. This is like August 18th, headed back home, for start of school. Here comes Nolan Souza coming through the airport, walks straight to Little White, and they got their picture made. I mean, it's just these guys he didn't have to do that. There's some players is like, man, I'm away from baseball right now. I'm in my own little self. I'm just going to do my thing. But I mean, he walked straight through the kid with the Razorback hat on, and everybody says that's our Nolan. So I mean, they're good kids. There's a lot of them like that. Yeah, we don't get to see the side that I got to see with Cam, and still, he's. I put him with guys like James McCann and Frank Ragnow, George Wilson. I mean, that's a special cut of guys. They're not all like that, but they've had some really good ones at Arkansas in that, as far as high character.
Well, Clay, we only have you for an hour, and I know you'll be with Matt and Christian tomorrow from 1 until 2. So I got to get in here with you on this situation with Madden Iamaleava, not necessarily the transfer out of Arkansas, because that's a done deal now, and I don't think it affects them next year. It's the trying to recoup NIL funds and just kind of digging into this a little bit, because I think Arkansas is well within their rights, just from my understanding of what these contracts are, of going and getting the money back. But we do wonder how that reflects upon, I think, to the public that consumes college sports. They'll be in Arkansas's corner for this. But then there's another slice of the public to which you also have to market yourself towards in a different way, and it's the potential future athletes. So you wonder how this looks like to them.
Yeah, and I'll give you another one to worry about. And I mean, you think, oh, don't worry about them, but it's real. I mean, the agents are ever increasingly a part of this equation. And if an agent doesn't like dealing with you, I mean, you can go through Major League Baseball, and there's some guys that, is it Scott Boras? Yeah. I mean, there's some franchises that he just, all of his guys is like, we're not talking to them. And so that's a real thing to consider. But I do think that they're going to proceed with this, and I think there needs to be some examples made, and it doesn't have to be with the highest level. But I would say that it's still dicey. We don't know the temperature of federal judges right now, and they seem to have all sided with the athletes. And it just seems like after another. I mean, for instance, who would have thought that they're going to give junior college players their years back in Division I football?
Right.
I mean, that's bizarre. That's not, and that, when I read that last, was it just before Christmas? Arkansas was about to go to the bowl game, and this comes out, and I was like, well, that's bizarre. That won't hold up. Well, it's holding up to the point that there's guys that are seniors thinking that their college time was over, and because they played a year in junior college, they've got another year of leverage, and it's a factor in college baseball. I know of a kid that had 1 year of junior college and thought this was his last year. and he's going to get another year, and he's going to go somewhere and play, at another program probably for another year, and he's a big time player.
Clay, I feel like the judges have sided with the athletes in so many cases, in just about every case, because it's been about their ability to earn money through something specific, which is their own name, image, and likeness. But I also wonder about what is it that the universities actually want to pay these players for? What did Madden Iamaleava do to make any money in the time that he was here? Was it the purchase of that NIL from him specifically, in which it has nothing to do with taking a snap in a game? Professional athletes, Clay, are paid for the game. The college athletes are not. And I just wonder if there has to be just a different way of the colleges thinking about this, to where you can go and recoup money because he paid somebody for something he didn't do. And I wonder if that's the situation with Iamaleava. I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, it still makes very little sense to me, the whole concepts, because they're not doing anything for their NIL by and large. Some of them are. Some of them, go have autograph signing events. I hear, mention now and then a commercial, hey, so-and-so is going to do this. Well, that is work. They're giving up a day to do that. So I get it. But we're fixing to have revenue sharing, and they're not going to do anything for that. They're just going to play. And the revenue sharing is going to be the bulk of the money, I think, for most of them. Now, there'll be a quarterback or, that he does something for the Frank Fletcher car dealerships. I think the quarterback is going to have to do something for his huge chunk. But it may not be much. And yeah, I just don't know if until they are employees that a lot of this stuff is going to make sense in our legal system. They're not employees, and it's hard to treat them like this is almost like a contract labor situation.
That's right.
I think they should be employees, and I think every athletic director would scream no, but it just looks like they're employees now.
That's right. I think that gets to the crux of it, and that's the step too far for the universities. So that eventually that may end up being the thing that a judge decides. Are you employees or are you not employees? And it may really just come down to that.
And then do we have collective bargaining?
Right, and then the collective
That's
bargaining
the next one.
in which then there's a system that maybe makes sense, but right now there isn't a system. 877-377-6963. We've got a break. We've got phone calls coming up in a moment, reminding you love is in the air these days. So Swift's Jewelry is the place to think about when you're planning on popping the question. They specialize in wedding and engagement rings that are unique as your love story. Swift's Jewelry has been in downtown Fayetteville since 1956, right there on the town square, 27 North Block Avenue, next to Hugo's. They also feature watch repairs. They'll keep you ticking on time with expert service. Their beautiful selection is right there on site in store or online at swiftsjewelry.com. It's where timeless elegance and exceptional craftsmanship come together in the heart of Fayetteville. Swift's Jewelry. Stay with us. Calls and texts in just a moment here on Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
No, I did not get
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Mandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Chicken? Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So let's take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out
Original
our
beats
latest
and real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick. Just that classic rap.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Thanks for
Flavor classic Kuko's dishes. It's the taste from the past with the vibrant atmosphere of Joe's. Don't miss out on the reunion every Thursday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Come for the food, stay for the memories. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Like the way you used to.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's go right to our Lewis Automotive Hotline, and the tuna has been waiting just a little bit while we talk with Clay in the last segment. Hey, Charlie, good afternoon. How are you?
I am great, Phil. How are you? How are you doing, Clay?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
It's a beautiful day, Charlie. It just got prettier since your phone call.
Something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Whoa, let's not. Actually, I'm about to make it a little
paint
bit.
by numbers.
I'm going to make it a little bit less pretty. I have a quick fishing story I want to tell, and then I'm going to get off here. And I'm going to, Clay, you know, the tuna usually causes himself the problems that he causes. And when I was younger, I'll give you guys a quick story here. My senior year, I was 21, and I went over to my uncle's pond, Now, at the time, the Tuda had a little bit more, how do I say this word, ass on him at the time, and belly. He was a little bit fatter, okay, at the time. And, I got in one of those, like, crappy, the lowest of low boats that you can, fishing boats that you can get into. And the tuna wasn't very smart. He's gotten a little smarter since then. I didn't pay attention to the fact that this particular today there was going to be 90 mile an hour, it felt like, wind gust, okay? So the tuna gets in this boat, and he just I wasn't the greatest paddler, okay? And this goes back to the whole, was not the greatest paddler, but I could get where I needed now. But the wind gust that high, a lot harder. I am drifting out. I am going. And, I know where my spot is, but I can't stay there. So I done got mad. I reeled my, fishing line in, and guess what happened then, since I done got mad? Because, when you get mad, sometimes things just start happening, one after another. The darn hook got caught in the tuna's thumb. I'm out in the pond, pretty far out at this point, and I cannot pedal my big fat you-know-what back to the bank, so I had to jump out of the freaking boat and swim my big fat butt, because I didn't at least know how to do that, back to the bank in water that I could not see the bottom of, and it was pretty deep. I don't know how far down that measuring stick would have went, Phil. I don't know. It went down pretty far. I got myself over there. I realized I can't get this thing out. So, I wound up having to go to the hospital. That's just a little story, Phil. I'm not trying to scare you or run you away from fishing. Just make sure you pay attention to the weather that day before you go. That's my advice. Don't go out there when it's a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust and think that don't usually work very well. Clay, I don't know if you have any stories on your...
Well, this is just common sense, though, Charlie. I mean, it's like, this isn't something that we all needed to be told. I mean, it's like Captain Obvious in his boat, he knows not to go out there when there's 50-mile-an-hour wind,
Matt,
much less 70.
I'm going to borrow Matt's term real quick. It sounds like Charlie Amber Heard of the lake.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Well done, Charlie. Good luck the next time you figure out on.
As long as you learn the lesson, it's okay. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
877-377-6963. I think we got the fishing stories out of us here. I thought Charlie may bring up the Boogie Fland situation in which you see this, and I just don't know what to believe in this case. If it's a matter of a kid who's really 100% into the draft and still has another month or so or 2 months before you really have to stay in the draft. Because I think the end of June is when you can still come back out. So as Cal says, he's 100% committed to the draft. He's talking about Boogie. And then it'll always be there for him and always one of his guys. But now Boogie says if he comes back to college, it'll be with a different team. So I just don't know if he's really 100% in on the draft or maybe like 95% and then the other 5% in the transfer.
Who's taking that kid in the first round? Yes. Like, seriously. I mean, he's undersized, plays below the rim. I get it that he knows how to make a bounce pass, and he knows how to drive. But you haven't seen enough. He needs to come back and yeah, can he? But he's 5 years away from playing any type of meaningful minutes in the NBA. He's just a baby. I just don't see how he gets a first round grade. I don't see him going in the first round.
From what I saw, I mean, I see the quickness. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I see the shooting ability, the outside shot. And
nobody wants a guard that look at Ja Morant. I mean, a dude going 7 for 25. Like that's no. You don't want that out of your point guard.
So I mean, it just feels like. I mean, to your thought, and I know, Cal says he's first round grades and all of that, but it does kind of feel like second round pick or playing somewhere else. Clay, what do you feel?
Well, as they say, it only takes one set of eyes to make everything wonderful. I mean, it's not like they're all wanting, because we can see all the mock drafts show him 35, 36, 37, but there may be one guy out there, one general manager, one owner that says, yeah, we like that. And
I think his
it might be the Knicks.
I think how young he is helps him out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's his.
Because he didn't put anything on tape that made you think, man, we got to have this guy. He's a first. There wasn't one time he did anything like that.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good in a couple of games. I thought he was really good at Madison Square Garden, and so was DJ. So there's some bigness to what he did in those games. It just didn't sustain it because the conference, played, he lost. But he was really highly regarded when he was playing AAU ball in the summer before he got here. I mean, it was spectacular stuff that he did against big-time players. But again, it's like, what's he going to do next year if he comes to Arkansas? Where's he going to play? Well, we kind of have a feel that DJ's the point guard, don't we? I mean, that's what, that's how he finished up the year, and he was really good at that. And you figure Acuff's the shooting guard, so where's he going to play? So I think that the portal thing makes some sense, and it's probably, let's see what the market will bear, and we'll weigh that off of, what is a second-round contract. So that's what he's probably thinking. And I'm guessing that he's got somebody that's telling him this is the way we should do it.
I would think Tennessee or Alabama would both be great landing spots for him. Both those guys just lost their senior point guards that have been there for a while. So I could see Tennessee or Alabama.
Or Florida.
Yeah, well, man, he goes to Florida. That's like cheating.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's where he could go.
And I'm with you. He'll go to a top 10 type of team. Like he'll end up at Arizona. He'll end up somewhere.
Well,
with
it'll have to be somebody with a bag of money,
right?
And so you're eliminating some schools right off the bat because they've already spent their bag of money.
That's right. That's the thing, is that they're already making the decisions on where you're spending your money. The longer you stay in the draft, the fewer options there are if the portal is where it is you're going to go. I guess you're thinking the
somebody
money's always
will
going
take
to be
that
there
guy.
at some point. Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
It's like he's not Mike Trout, but he's pretty good, and he might be Mike Trout. I'm talking about, somebody that, okay, anytime he goes into the portal, I'm talking about Mike Trout, there's interest. I mean, there's somebody that wants to pay him. And I think Boogie probably has the reputation and the cachet to demand a nice payment. But he also wants to be exploited, or let's put it highlighted, to be in the right system and to have point guard minutes.
Hey, remember Tucker Construction and Remodeling. They help with everything involving construction, including tear it out to build it back. And right now, their biggest investment of all at Tucker Construction and Remodeling, asbestos abatement. You need professionals to help you understand what you're dealing with. They'll inspect your property, take care of the removal of all the asbestos, and the professionals at Tucker Construction and Remodeling have been doing it for 30 years. Truly local, everything from asbestos removal, tear it out, to build it back. 479-650-6453 for Tucker Construction and Remodeling. They serve the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, Branson, and much more. Our number on halftime, the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. More in just a moment.
She's a peacock. You got to let her fly, man. Or your girl, Fat Amy in Pitch Perfect. It's like she's a free-range pony. You got to let her go, man. Let her neigh.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Evan Cohen here. When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. So what ends up happening? You do a few push-ups and sit-ups in your room, run around the block, or you just skip it entirely. Lame. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and power your buys and tries the right way, or de-stress with some cardio. The choice is yours. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Mango like candy.
This is halftime.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text our used bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
It's time to tee up for big wins at Choctaw Casino and Resort Picola. The Just Chipping It giveaway is in full swing, giving you a shot at your share of $70,000 in cash. Saturdays in April, we're giving away up to $3,500 every hour from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and $5,000 at midnight. Earn entries by playing with your Choctaw Rewards Club card. Swing big and score your share of $70,000 at Choctaw Casino and Resort Picola. This is how Picola plays.
Attention business owners, are you overpaying for your website, dropping thousands up front and shelling out more than $95 a month? Stop the madness! With Modular Orange, you get a custom-built, fully managed website for just $95 a month. No hidden fees, no headaches. They write it, build it, launch it, update it, and secure it so you can focus on your business. Ditch the overpriced hassle and go simple. Visit modularorange.com today. That's modularorange.com.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
At Phil Wright Autoplex in Russellville,
we know you have many places to buy a car. Our competitive pricing and no-pressure sales team
has made us your premier GMC and Chevrolet dealer in the River Valley for almost 50 years.
Our impressive inventory is changing daily. Shop online 24/7 at philwright.com.
For a simplified buying process, trust Phil Wright Autoplex. Great inventory, great prices, and an overall great buying experience. Exit 84 off I-40, Russellville.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
So I was a monkey. You painted my face and a mouth to cut the chunky with the plastic eyeballs. Spray paint the vegetable stock with skulls with the beefcake pantyhose. Kill the headlights and put it in neutral. Stock car flaming with the loser and the cruise control. Babies in Reno with the vitamin D. Got a couple of couches. Sleep on the love seat. Someone came saying I'm insane to complain about a shotgun wedding and a stain on my shirt. Don't believe everything that you breathe. You get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve. So shave your face with some mace in the dark. Saving all your food stamps and burning down the trailer park. Yo. Cut it.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Right to our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Cecil held through the break. Good afternoon, Cecil. Thanks for calling. How you doing today?
Oh, fellas, it's all good. Blessed to be here. Blessed to wake up. Blessed to come to work and make some money. And blessed to listen to y'all talk about sports. And y'all just help me get my day through, man. I was, I'm listening every day, and Boogie this is how I feel about it because everybody got an opinion. Boogie he fell into a situation. And Calipari's like this. He's going after the best guards. He's going after the best centers. Whatever he can do, he's going after the best that. And one thing about Calipari, he don't waste any time taking another step up the ladder. So when Boogie got hurt, and, his intention was to go pro after 1 year. So he was already after another guard then. He on the move. So Boogie got hurt, and that kind of set Boogie back. See, and that set everything back. He did have a good game in New York. That's the best game he played. He was at home feeling good, and he had a good game. God bless him. But right now, what happened was Calipari's on the move. He got his cape on. He doing his thing. So he can't wait around because there ain't enough money to go around like that. And he done moved on. Basically, that's what it is. Boogie, like Matt said, Boogie got a while to wait. And he do have a while to wait. He's just a baby. So he's going to have to either sit on the bench, and he ain't going to accept that, or just go to another team. Somebody can use him. He'll do really well somewhere else. It's just that the cards didn't fall in his favor at Arkansas, and Calipari kept moving. That's what he do. That's why he's so great of a coach. He's the best recruiter in the game. And that's just the way it is. And it's been like that for years and years and years. So, I wish him luck, and I hate to see him go. And then he's probably confused, just like he's probably not as confused as them brothers that's really confused. The ones just left Tennessee and Arkansas. I don't even know their name. I can't even pronounce it. But
Nico and Madden.
This is okay. Nico and what?
Madden.
Okay. So this is the stepping stone, learning stone, however you may want to put it and say it, however, if I'm saying it wrong or right, you get the drift. Now, and then from another year or two later, maybe it might not, hopefully it won't take that long, then the all this money thing will be in order, and they're going to have some contracts because you got to have stipulations, because how you going to pay somebody and then just leave? That's highway robbery. So, they're going to get it all together. It might take a little time, but they'll get it together, man. And, and that's just the way it is. Hopefully it'll just be contracts. Like if you come in, if you play, you sign a 2-year contract, you're here for 2 years, you can't transfer. It's just how you draw the contract up. But I think it'll be okay after a while. Right now it's a little confusing. And again, I do wish Boogie luck. And I think we're going to be really good this coming season. I think we're going to be better. Somebody said the other day online, said we're not going to win 6 games. I don't believe that. We got the same quarterback back. He done got better. And I think we're going to win more games than we lost last year, this past season. And that's it. I'm going to continue to listen to my favorite radio station, Madden Field. God bless y'all. Yeah, have a blessed day.
Cecil, appreciate you calling. As always, it's 877-377-6963 on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Let's keep it to basketball here for a moment because, Carter Knox is testing the waters. Adu Thero is testing the waters, but it looks like both of them will be welcomed back if they decide to come out of the draft. And I think you're kind of hoping that at least Knox is going to. But in this situation with Boogie, I mean, you get it, you get it, and it's nothing against the kid, but they played pretty well without him. And DJ Wagner was like one of the main reasons why they played so well without him. So it's the thought, I guess, would be once DJ announces he's coming back, and you don't know what's gonna happen with Boogie. It's like, all right, well, we got to put a team together, and this guy's a pretty good college point guard, and will be really great going into battle with him again.
Yeah, it's complex though. There's one guy that can probably understands, how to navigate all this, and that's John Calipari. And I'm proud that he's the guy doing it because I think he knows exactly how to reshape a roster in quick fashion. He's done it so many times. I was thinking about Thero and Knox. Okay, Knox, we know if he comes back, he's going to be a different player in another year. You're going to see big growth between freshman and sophomore year. how much growth are you going to have between your junior and senior year? And that's what Theo has to decide. What is his ceiling? I'm not sure that it's a whole lot higher than what we saw, the middle of the season before he hurt his knee. So that's the tough part for agents, and to say, okay, you can improve yourself greatly by coming back one more year. Now he has improved every year. We got to give him that. But it's like, is there another big jump left in that tank? Matt Jones, you have a better feel for this than I do.
I think you're right on, Clay. Everything you just said is spot on. I compare him, as far as Thiero is number 3, to Ricky Council IV. Both uber athletic. Both can do things with their athletic ability. Both can play both sides of the ball. Ricky Council IV, I think, is better. Phil and I got on we were talking about it. You go look at Thiero's first 2 years in the NBA when he gets there. I promise you, Ricky Council's stats would be better. And he's the 8th or 9th guy on the last place team in the NBA. That's kind of where I don't really see him as an NBA play. I mean, you just don't. He's border. That doesn't mean he's not great and can't play the game. And I don't love him and I don't root for him and I don't cheer for him in all this. But I just don't. I don't see it yet.
Well, you have to understand what your role is going to be at the next level. Is he going to be a defender? Is he going to? I mean, Ronnie Brewer made a lot of money.
Ronnie Brewer did, Ronnie Brewer, Clay,
by accepting that role,
was one of the smartest players I ever played with in any sport.
He was fortunate that Utah Jazz drafted him, Jerry Sloan, who was a defensive fundamentalist, and taught him to accept the role that you're going to play against.
You're going to go guard the team's best
player. You're going to go play against
yeah.
Kobe,
yep.
and you got 5 fouls to play with. We want you to use them all, and play tough defense, denial, and he did that and made a great career out of just that aspect. Can Theo be that? Can he be the defensive stopper that you need on a team that's going to slow down, Kevin Durant? I mean, I don't know if he is, but that's his way to. Back to my original thing, can he be better after another year at Arkansas, or is it time for him to has he reached close to his potential? Because if he has, coming back another year is not going to help him, other than it's an NIL payday.
And then Carter Knox, I think
his ceiling's way up
He
here.
reminds me so much of a Paul Pierce at Kansas, because he's a small forward, and he's a guy he's physical, he's a baby too as far as learning. I don't think he's as gifted as Carmelo Anthony, but that's the type of player that he's going to have to be as far as Carter Knox can shoot the ball. I mean, if he's open, I like it when he shoots. I think
he's got the body.
Shot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of positives with him, and I think I think he'll make another jump next year. And
it's hard.
Flan will too. It's just that what we've seen is that his minutes are going to go somewhere else, and that's the one thing he looks at. It's not the NIL, which is significant, but he's going to get a good NIL wherever he goes. It's the minutes. And if you're not getting the bulk of the point guard minutes, he needs to go somewhere else.
I see this in baseball where the college teams have to recruit also against the major league teams, and the idea that anybody can go in the draft after potentially a second year in a lot of cases. And so they over-recruit. I mean, we've seen this in the last 3-4 years, over-recruiting in the summer, because there's about a month where you don't know what your guys that got drafted or were eligible for the draft were going to do. And you can't, for as great of a recruiter as Cal, and I know he's very loyal to his players, you can't just build off that loyalty to a single player, because you just continue to recruit. And it's maybe over recruiting isn't the right term in this case, but if you got a kid that's coming in and it's expected to be 1 year, and that he's going to be in the NBA draft the next season, you just have to go off of that idea and recruit somebody that may end up taking his minutes the next year. And I think that's
when it tells you a lot too about if the coach, if you know the kid's not going good enough and you don't want to keep him, you would do everything you could to keep him. It tells you a lot when the coaching staff is kind of like, yeah, we'll let him walk.
They know what they got coming.
Mm-hmm.
877-377-6963 to get with us here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. We had a great time yesterday at the All-American Steakhouse in Springdale, right there on Sunset. Go-to spot for the best steaks, wings, salads, It is the best sports bar vibe in town. In fact, they won Best Sports Bar of Northwest Arkansas recently. Best Steakhouse as well. Perfect for Mother's Day coming up soon, of course. Big graduations, dinners at the All-American Steakhouse. You can download their app on Google Play or the App Store. You can order pickup or delivery or even book a private room for your next event on the All-American Steakhouse app. Great food, great sports. It's in Springdale, the All-American Steakhouse. Stay with us as we will wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime after this.
I just don't understand why people don't turn their blinker on and just think it's okay to stop in the middle of the road.
This is Halftime.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. Delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Wave Rural Connect is excited to introduce our new 300 megabit internet service. Perfect for streaming, remote work, and homework for just $64.95 a month. Get no worries, cyber safe managed Wi-Fi for a total of $71.95. Order today at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. We're adding new services and expanding our areas for you. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or flat out refusing to start, we've got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look no further than Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Needing hydraulic or industrial hoses? Sharp Equipment's got what you need. Come see us at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500. At Sharp Equipment, we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Dane and Janelle Fulmer ask everyone to salute our brave men and women in our military and our veterans who have kept us free. Because of them, we enjoy the greatest freedom in the world. Honor them by donating blood at your local hospital. Your gift may save a life. This from Dane and Janelle Fulmer. A soldier doesn't fight because he hates what's in front of him. He fights because he loves what he left behind.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Honey, letting it go. 'Cause I got desire, it's starting to show. Tightly, feeling inside it go. 'Cause I got fire, feeling starting to grow.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping up our 1 hour here with Clay Henry, and you can read Clay's columns at Whole Hog Sports. He'll join Matt Jones tomorrow from 1 until 2 o'clock when he'll be up in the air with the Razorback baseball team somewhere on the way to Florida. Baseball tonight, Clay. You want to I'll make a little prediction for you on like a final score. One team's going to score double-digit runs. Chances are it's Arkansas because
I think it is Arkansas.
Each of the last 6 games against Little Rock, and I think in 7 of the 8 games that they've played all time between Arkansas and Little Rock baseball, the winning team has scored double-digit runs, which is probably the going rate for midweek baseball these days, certainly.
Yeah, it's hard to have your frontline pitching saved for a Wednesday game after you played a Tuesday game. So Arkansas, that part is a little bit problematic. But Dave said last night that he had 8 guys ready to go, including one of them might be Hunter Dietz. Phil, what a great possibility that is.
So that would be a thing to take from tonight's game. Anything that happens at the plate, it doesn't translate to this weekend or anything else for the remainder of the season for these hitters. But a thing you can't take from today's game is if Hunter Dietz pitches and shows the right velocity and command of his breaking stuff, well, then you've added another weapon to a bullpen that already is laden with weapons. So that's the first thing I think that we'll be watching for in this game. Yeah, win the game, have good at-bats and all that, but how did Hunter Dietz look? Because it's probably just an inning, but it could be a pretty important inning for the remainder of the season.
So you have a guy that's big, strong, athletic, and he's left-handed. And he is an imposing figure. The 2 falls ago, before he was hurt, he came in as a true freshman and had as good a fall as they've had anybody walk in there. I mean, he got everybody out, a lot of swing and misses. You didn't want to face him. And apparently he pitched out of the stretch 2 times. In other words, that's the only 2 times in the whole fall did anybody have a runner on base against him. That's what you need to know about Hunter Dietz. He's not quite there yet, but you got to start somewhere, and I think they're finally like, okay, we got to put him out there.
So I remember Hunter last year threw as hard as 97 before the injury, and I know that he's been healthy for like the last month to 2 months, but he didn't have his velocity back. He was at 90,
giddy up,
which for him it's not going to work. I've heard he's up to 94, up to 95, 94 right now, so he's getting close to where he was before, and that'll pitch.
He's not a guy that just throws hard. He can pitch, and he's got pitches with some movement. So it's not – he doesn't have to get you out with 97. But that's nice if you have 97 and you have those other pitches.
It is. If you got that in the tank, it's nice to have it there.
Clay, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, me too.
And
we'll have fun.
We
always
know,
do.
I seen the whole first season of Ted Lasso. Now I know you've been big on that one, so I'm almost caught up with you. But I saw the whole first season last week.
It gets better and better.
I love Jason Sudeikis, big time fan.
Yep.
Matt and Clay tomorrow from 1 until 2. Me and Matt from 1 until 2 today in just a moment, along with the C Unit back in studio. Clay, have a great day. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Now stay with halftime, hour number 3 after the top of the hour.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Forest Grid Incorporated, a company known for paying top wages and benefits, has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. For nearly 90 years, Forest Grid has built the foundations of the River Valley, and now you can become a part of that legacy. Apply now from any device at goforestgrid.com. That's goforestgrid.com. Do you finally want to get paid well for your work? Do you want to work for a company that treats you like family? Apply now at goforestgrid.com. Forest Grid Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Join us for the legendary adventure Mystery at the Forest on Saturday, April 26th. Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center invites you to share this magical evening of excitement, mystery, and fun. If you are a business or individual looking to sponsor a heartfelt organization or to buy tickets, please text H2H Mystery to 44834 or call us at 479-452-2260. Heart to Heart's Mystery at the Forest, April 26th.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
It's Kubota Orange Days at Gray Brothers Equipment with interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months and reduced pricing on all Kubota inventory. It's time for your new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 6/30/25, see Gray Brothers Equipment or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, upper 70s to lower 80s. We will see partly cloudy skies tonight, upper 50s. A chance of showers and thunderstorms across the south will be in the lower 60s. And then showers and chance of thunderstorms on Thursday, highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
That ain't but one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back for hour number 3, halftime 1:01 in the afternoon on an overcast Wednesday. Live, Phil Elson at Paul Walker Stadium. Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing back in our ESPN Arkansas headquarters. We've got another hour to go. We'll be talking with Alyssa Orange in about 15 minutes. We could not get Alyssa yesterday. She had things going on. We had people to give away tickets to yesterday, and that also involved Alan in Springdale yesterday. Was the last to show up and give Matt Jones a very happy birthday yesterday, which I still can't get over the fact that you and Amber Heard share a birthday, Matt. It's not quite on the same level, but it's not far from John Adams and
Who's yours? Who's because I got
Thomas
Jack
Jefferson dying on the same day.
I got Jack Nicholson. You know, I've always wanted my death date to be my birth date, so that'd be cool too if that had happened on Earth Day. But who is your celebrity person that you're like, you know what, that's kind of cool that they're because I mean Captain Jack Nicholson. I mean, get out of here. He's what like if you said cool, like if you looked up the definition of cool, that would be Samuel L. Jackson and Jack Nicholson, right?
Yeah, well, Benedict Arnold was born on my birthday, man.
There you go.
That's a good one.
A little Brit.
Legitimately the name that means to screw over the people that you've sided with initially. The meaning of double agent. There's a guy I share my birthday with.
And probably a little bit of Eggs Benedict Arnold. I mean, that's one of my favorite breakfast dishes.
It's no wonder I can't stomach hollandaise sauce. It sends me running. Maybe it's because of that name.
I think they use some of that in the poutine.
Ladies Love Cool James also shares a birthday with me.
No way.
The future Shelley Duvall shares a birthday with me.
Mama said to knock you out.
Dave Grohl. I mean, these are
you
great
got
birthdays,
Captain
man.
Fu is with you?
That's right.
You
got
might
Apollo Creed.
You're actually you're better than me now. I thought I was cool and Amber Heard. That's a good feather to have in your cap, but those are some A-listers right there.
It's just there's none of these people do I have a direct connection with in utilizing their name to describe a very specific act on these shows. I can't go out and say, well, he went up and he Carl Weathers
Ted Lasso
during the game here, which means he got knocked out by a Russian. I don't really think I can. I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, they could. You know, the next time, Arkansas beats who are we playing this week? Whenever they beat them, you can be like they just Apollo Creeded. We just Apollo Creeded them.
It means to die on the field, huh?
Yeah, take that L.
Oh boy. Oh, JT's got a good one here. His birthday, and he's told us this before. JT's birthday is Elvis Presley's death date.
Oh. The king, right?
I just wonder what happened first. Because if the king dies and then JT is born, does he potentially have a little slice of the king's soul inside his soul?
All live the king.
That'd be very interesting, too. Hey, well, here's what BJ, you texted in yesterday, and you didn't even say it was your birthday. He says, me and Matt. Oh, he did say that. He says, so I'm 48 today. How old is Matt? That's right, BJ. So
Jackie Robinson.
Let us know. Yeah, he was Jackie Robinson. You got to figure that one out yourself.
Next year, Phil, think about how good my life's going to be next year. It's the year of Troy Polamalu for me. You know I'm just going to be basking. It's going to be like head and shoulders, dandruff everywhere.
Yeah, but yours isn't going to be head and shoulders. Your shampoo's got to be called neck and chin. Scott the Tortilla Guy's got a birthday that he shares with Bob Ross. That's a good one. Very happy, very calm. And Scott, did you ever paint some happy trees on your birthday just to see if maybe you got a little Bob Ross in you too? Do they sell neck and chin shampoo? They should, because all the big beards now. I mean, it's a really big thing. People are really into it. I'm a little nervous though today, Matt, because I have to be on my best behavior for the baseball game. I have a 12-year-old job shadower with me for the baseball game today. That's right. Kid's very interested in being a sports broadcaster. He must listen to the baseball games. And his mom put in a request to job shadow. By the way, nobody out there, please put in the same request for the remainder of the season. We can only do like one of these per year. So really, it's like the person I'm a little more nervous about is the guy that usually sits next to me in the booth. I'm going to be like, you be on your best behavior, not just during the innings in which we're on the air on all of these radio stations, but the 60 seconds between those innings. Maybe we should just be quiet and look back at him and say, do you need anything? Can I get you anything? You got any questions? We will not be the ones to divulge the information until he asks for that information.
Well, if he's a ball player and he's been in a locker room, they kind of teach him.
But he's 12.
7th grade locker rooms, they don't. Some of them don't know how to take showers yet. So you got to make sure he's coming into your building. You better make sure this kid has an Axe body spray NIL deal or something. I mean, they're 12. You gotta. I don't know when it takes hold, but I don't know.
That we find out, and so I'll notice the moment the kid walks into the booth whether or not he does the shower before you go somewhere rule at least once a day. Not everybody subscribes to this rule, but that would be a very important rule if you're going to be in a locker room. It's appreciated that the locker room's really going to smell sometimes, but that doesn't mean that you smell when you leave the locker room. These we can have these two things together, which includes Jim in Yellville, who's waiting right now on our Lewis Automotive hotline. Hey, Jim, thanks for calling halftime. What's going on?
Hey guys, how y'all been?
I'm great. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, belated happy birthday, man.
Thank you.
I couldn't get to you yesterday, but hey, I had a question. I'm going to sound like I live in a cave, but this whole situation, is the guy's name Madden Imaliava?
Madden Iamaliava. That's correct. He was
is
the
that
younger of the
Eagles'
two
brother?
brothers.
Okay, and he was on Arkansas.
That's correct. He decommitted from UCLA on signing day to commit to Arkansas. And now look at where he's going to go again. UCLA.
Back to UCLA. Well,
So he got paid for his spring semester?
Yes.
Here's the thing. I didn't even know the guy was on the team.
See, it has absolutely nothing to do with this next season. All this is about this is becoming the case that everybody watches. While the case in the court is still being decided upon by Judge Wilkin. This is the case with the Iamaliava family that everybody is paying attention to. It is the one that everybody's talking about. It's got the spotlight around it. It's the story of the football offseason for the time being.
I am just amazed that it hasn't happened before now. This whole NIL thing has, in my opinion, has absolutely ruined the college football. Now, I am not against players getting paid. I'm not against that at all. But, it seems to me like a simple solution would be to put a cap on it. Put a cap on it so every school can only spend the same amount of money. You know what I'm saying? That way it takes the disadvantage of the smaller schools that don't have the NIL money or the sponsors. It would give them the same opportunity as the bigger schools. It just seems to me like that would be a simple solution, but I'm a simple guy, so it doesn't,
Right. The only way that happens, so you get this house settlement in which there is a capped dollar figure of a percentage of the incoming revenues, and then all the schools in each conference operate by that dollar figure for the money that goes from the university directly into the players' pockets. What is not capped is the other NIL funds, which I know that there's supposed to be a clearinghouse on July 1st that will start monitoring the NIL deals that are over $600 to ensure that if you're paid for something that you actually do it. That it's not some sort of a no-show job, but that doesn't mean that added NIL money is capped. And I think the only way that can happen is if there's going to be some sort of collective bargaining. And again, to me, it's still, Jim, it all will boil down to whether or not these student athletes will stop being referred to as student athletes and will actually be referred to as employees. That's what it's eventually going to come down to.
Exactly
that
correct.
That would be the final question.
You have to hold them to their word. If they sign a contract, that to me, that's a contract. You got to fulfill your contract. You can't.
Well, is there language in the contract that says you have to skip a portal session? Can they not put that in there so you're not allowed to jump in the portal the spring session?
That's an excellent idea. And I mean, I don't know if that is. I don't know if that's the case, but I just hate this whole NIL thing. To me, it just put college football upside down. And I wanted to say one other thing, and this is at you, Phil. When you guys do the baseball, if I can get it on TV, I turn the volume down on the TV. And I turn you guys up on Alexa. I mean, I enjoy listening to you and the way you and Bubba call the games, and I much rather listen to that than listen to all the other sportscasters on the TV who are obviously not for Arkansas. That just doesn't do anything but piss me off. But at any rate, when you guys do it, I turn the volume down on the TV and turn on the Alexa and I enjoy what you do.
Jim, that's the absolute best thing that a play-by-play announcer can hear. I really appreciate you listening, appreciate the phone call and the compliment. Thanks a lot.
Hey, you guys have a great day, and thanks for taking my call.
You got it, Jim. Now Bobby in Cave Springs will take us into the break. Bobby, what's going on? How are you?
I'm telling you, job shadowing in a booth with Bubba, it may be a whole different type of education.
We should have an age restriction, right? It's like there's a day for rated R job shadowing, there's a day for PG-13 job shadowing, and we can do G-rated job shadowing too. Yeah.
There you go. I don't know if all of the details here. I understand that you are among the many Pittsburgh Pirate fans that are irritated at ownership.
Yes.
But it looks like the end of June, I have a chance to go to a Pirates game against the Mets on a Friday night. It will not endanger our friendship if I go and root for the Pirates, will it?
No. If I went to a Pirates game, if I actually went to a Pirates game, I would root for them, and I would do it openly because I would be at the ballpark they're playing. But when I'm not watching them on television, I will silently root for them to lose every game. I just want them to get sold. I want them to win. It's not going to happen with Bob Nutting as the owner.
Yeah, that's the impression I get. Everybody who's a Pirate fan loves the team. They just hate who owns it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fans who feel that way about their team in some cases. You feel, well, you're not trying to win or you're making bad decisions. And that's where I come in. There's a difference between how I view ownership of the Pirates and how I think Cowboys fans would view ownership of the Cowboys, because I think he's trying to win. It's just misguided decisions. And with Nutting, it's just I don't believe that they lose money. Take your profit and run away, and you don't care whether or not the team wins or loses. He said he did everything he needed to do to make them competitive. Well, the record shows proof otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, and the other thing is, when all of us are getting all worked up about these greedy players and their dads all trying to get this money, and by golly, we're gonna show them. We need to be the team and the school that shows them and teaches them a lesson. Well, remember that your school and the success of your program runs on getting good players. And we have to recruit not just high school people, but we have to be an enticing landing for players that are in the transfer portal or players that are looking to do something different and want to come here. We want players to want to come here. If we were recruiting 38-year-old men who spend a lot of time on Twitter, then maybe we could do that. But we're not. We're trying to get kids to come play football for us and be good. And some of that stuff just is not, that we're spouting is just not going to set well with kids that we want to come here and play football for us.
But I wonder, too, if there's another – Bobby, it's good to hear from you. Hopefully see you at the ballpark sometime soon. I do wonder if there's a set of potential future recruits that also come from a mindset of thinking, I would like for things to be done the right way where it is that I'm going to play, to where, a dollar earned is a dollar paid. Maybe I'm thinking pie in the sky about this, but there are athletes out there, probably a lot of them, who might have been raised the right way. Parents can still be involved in this and go at it the right way. And maybe there's some of them out there that are looking at the situation here and thinking, you know what, they're right about this. And other teammates that might be in that locker room that are thinking, this kid didn't deserve anything of what he made. What did he do for it? And maybe there are some athletes that get in Arkansas's corner as far as getting that NIL money back is concerned. Let's break. Alyssa Orange joining us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline in just a moment.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Sandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Taco Bell brought back crispy chicken nuggets, and I can't believe how good they are.
Why can't you believe it?
Because you're Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Yeah, but a taco place can do nuggets, right?
Yeah, the Hidden Valley Fire Ranch is awesome.
Okay, they're good, but we're not a chicken place.
When did you guys become a chicken place?
Can't a taco place do good nuggets? Are we not allowed to do both?
What do you mean?
You think it's cool to do both, right? Why are you looking at me like that?
Are they okay?
I don't think so.
We're totally a taco place that's a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
So take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Introducing the Azalea
So
Punch.
take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick.
Built for comfort.
So take you back to the concrete streets.
Check out our
Original
latest
beats and
drop.
real live MCs. Playground tactics. So let's take you back to the concrete streets. Original beats and real live MCs. Playground tactics, a rabbit and a hat trick. Just that classic rap.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the number one online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Thanks for All Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson's Salasol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salasol.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you come with me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's me smelling the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, hard to find. I can feel, yeah. Blossom, there.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Things didn't work out yesterday to have Alyssa Orange with us for usual Tuesday hit, so we're going to make it an unusual Wednesday hit with our good friend Alyssa Orange instead right now. She's on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. I was going to call you Lewis. Your name is Alyssa. Hey, Alyssa. What's up?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, guys. It's okay. It's Wednesday instead of Tuesday. We're all a little backwards, but always love being on with you guys whenever I can.
Hey, before we get into anything involving sports, I know you'd put this out on social media about the tornado and the storms that had hit over the weekend. That affected your family, didn't it?
It did. It hit the house that Saul and the kids are still in, and that we were in since 2019 over at Humont Village, and it was a kind of crazy Easter. He called me when I was with the kids at Walmart, like, hey, the house got hit by a tornado, and the minute I got there, they were helping to clean up, and the neighbors all just really rallied and just started picking up and moving stuff to the curb and cutting down any of the broken fence. And the good news is Saul's dad and brother are both in construction and building, and so they were there to really kind of have a good idea of what exactly structurally Saul was looking at, and got the house tinted because there's supposed to be some rain coming in, and hopefully no more water gets inside the house, and move from there. But kind of crazy. You don't really expect it to happen until it happens, but it seems like everything's kind of moving in the right direction, and it could have been worse. And so that's the good news, is it wasn't. And our house had some damage. A handful of houses around us had damage, and we're just happy no one was hurt. So it was pretty crazy, but it could have been worse. So.
Well, I'm glad that the kids are good and that the house will be able to be fixed up. It's just scary too, so it'll probably be a little frightening even with the next storms that come through for them. So I hope at least emotionally they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Bella just is concerned about where her bounce-a-lean went, which I had to explain to her that the tornado picked up the trampoline and put it in some guy's backyard about 800 or so feet away or so from the house, yards away from the house. But she's just concerned about where her bounce-a-lean is and why the house is broke, but it'll be okay.
Hey, Alyssa, big day the next couple of days for the Miami Dolphins. You know I love talking football with you. You got the 13th overall pick, but other than that, you get 3 picks in the top 100. Who you kind of looking for? What do you think they do at 13? Sure. Who would you like to see them take? Kind of some needs in 3 of those picks in the top 100.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, when you think about where they are right now, I've always thought, and they've kind of just the trend that the Dolphins take in general, they love guys in the trenches. So I would not be surprised if at 13 they take an offensive lineman, and then maybe take a defensive guy within those next couple of picks, because they've really invested in Tua. I think that they've made a statement on investing in him and his future, but you got to protect him. And so continuing to bring in talented offensive linemen who can protect him is important. Then I really think, maybe, again, the defensive line or the linebacker position is a spot on the side of the defense that they need. But I'm really curious if they bring in another quarterback, because they released Mike White, and they've got a couple guys back there, but because of Tua's history, yes, you want to protect him, you want to build things around him, but you definitely need a guy waiting in the wings who can come in and play a couple of games, because that's kind of the trend, right? Like, you're going to come in and maybe have to play a couple of games just because of the history we've seen the last couple of years with Tua and his health. A guy that can come in and not be like, oh my gosh, when does Tua get back so this offense feels the same as it was when he's here. And I'm curious to see what they do with that. But that's where I would go first, is the offensive line, and then either D-line, linebacker. But I'd like to see them get a quarterback out of this draft.
And so let me ask you, because I agree with you, and so I'm trying to look at some of those quarterbacks that might go in that second wave. I think of guys like Quinn Ewers. I think of guys like Dylan Gabriel, kind of quick release. Maybe it's not really a drop off if Tua goes out. Do you like Quinn Ewers or Dylan Gabriel over?
Ewers fits that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you liked one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they have the same skill set as Tua a little bit. They're almost the same build, same style, quick release, and that's what you kind of want, to kind of have those strengths of your quarterback to be a little seamless from one to the other, so you're not changing up too much from a skill set point. But yeah, I mean, either of those, especially Dylan Gabriel, I liked him a lot. He impressed me specifically down the stretch last season. He was on my Heisman ballot. I like him. I think he can make a place for himself in Miami.
Alyssa, I gotta ask about, how did you not go to watch Clayton Kershaw pitch yesterday? You're a Dodgers fan. Could you take? I know there was a Little League game for your son. You only get a chance to watch a Hall of Famer pitch while you know he's a Hall of Famer, and it's a minor league game. Could you not have taken him out of the game and dragged him over to the ballpark and watched it? I know you had some FOMO last night.
I know, I did. And I honestly learned about it a little too late. I didn't learn about it until I was going to go pick up my daughter at daycare after I had picked up my son from school. And at that point, he was already dressed in his baseball gear, and we had to go to the baseball game. But, yeah, I mean, like, push that dagger a little bit harder in film. And I would have easily told Coach, like, hey, we're going on a field trip down the street, and this is, educational experience for my son, and we're out. But he loves to play the game, and I didn't want to do that for Finn. And Saul's out of town working on a special project with Hawks Plus, so it was just me yesterday, and I didn't have much of a choice. But, man, watching the videos and people's photos, I definitely had FOMO.
Alyssa, some of these ratings or rankings for these receivers, people make a lot of money doing this, and I don't understand it all the time. Help explain this to me, and who would you take? Isaac Tesla is the 17th ranked receiver in this year's draft class, and Andrew Armstrong is the 46th ranked receiver. Kind of help me understand that.
Interesting. Okay. I hadn't seen that, and that surprises me, just because of the seasons that both of them have had. But, I think with Andrew, we saw especially what he could do with last season and the season before. But he was a little injured, and maybe the injury plays into it. Maybe there's an issue there with, like, okay, how healthy can he remain? How healthy can he stay throughout the season? I think with Tesla, there's just a lot of raw talent. He's got great hands. He's a guy across the middle that you would love to have in the rotation there for a wide receiver. And then maybe because he has kind of stayed healthy for the most part, he just maybe has a little bit of a better markings there from, hey, being healthy, you can mold this guy into what we think he could be. And so maybe that's the upside that teams are seeing from him. And what his skill set is. But that discrepancy between the two of them is very surprising to me. And I'm wondering if it's because of maybe some of the injuries that Andrew Armstrong went through.
That turf toe, yeah, if he really does have turf toe, or you wonder, because, yeah, I thought 46 was extremely low for Andrew Armstrong.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Alyssa, I got to ask, this whole situation with the Iamaleavas, I'm actually a little more interested in what the future of college sports is going to look like. And this whole deal with Arkansas now trying to recoup the NIL funds just gets to the heart. And this may end up being a case that decides it. That it's, what did you pay the kid for? What was it that he was paid for? Was he paid? He wasn't paid for being there at practice. He wasn't going to be paid for games. Nobody on this team is paid for the games. They're paid for their NIL likeness. And that does not involve going on a field and playing a sport. It involves outward projection to the rest of the world. And that's why Madden may end up getting away with this. He very well might when it comes down to it. I don't know how this contract was written, but if you're being paid for NIL and you gave that NIL for those 3 months, maybe he'll be able to keep at least the 3 months worth.
And that's what is such the big talker right now, is because, so it is not a pay for play. That's the one rule the NCAA had, but let's be honest, you're paying them to come play for you at this point. And you're paying them to be a part of your team. You know, Patrick Kudus does not have any kind of name recognition, but Ole Miss was able to give him some money to go to Ole Miss. And that's just the truth, because they want him to come play for him. Now, the thing with the Iamalievas is that I really think with Madden, he has an argument about his name and who his brother is, and the brand that the Iamalieva name has created, right? And so that's what he's saying, is just like, I know that I didn't necessarily play my senior season of high school football. Like, he really hasn't played much football because of the injuries that he's had, but his name has recognition. And you guys knew that me coming in, everyone was talking about who he was and him coming and him signing at Arkansas. And, I mean, we were even covering him in the Polynesian Bowl in Hawaii because of who he was and him coming to Arkansas. So he might, you're right, have an argument of, well, you're paying for my name to come to Arkansas and play for you guys. I've now decided that I'm not going to, but you're not paying me to play football. You're not paying me per game. You're paying me for my last name, and that's what you got. That's what I gave you for 3 months. And he might have, and I mean, the media might be playing in his favor too, because he can go and he can pull every single time that his name was said on the radio, said on television, article written about, sportscast talked about, all of those things, and point to, see, look at all of this attention that I brought to myself and to Arkansas football because of who I am over the last 3 months.
That's just something to think about, because I mean, we're going to have a corner of who it is that you feel like you're in the corner of, but I think when you're looking at what it is these guys are paid for, that's really what you're getting at the heart at here. Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Thanks for coming on today, and we'll look forward to talking with you next Tuesday.
Let's go, Fins.
Let's go, Fins. Hey, I looked it up. They got an offensive tackle as a projected.
That's I saw
Kelvin Banks out of Texas.
Yeah, and I saw the D tackle from Michigan. I think all the mocks I'm looking at has them taking somebody in OT or D tackle.
Yeah, and that's their trend. You can go back years. That's just, they've always trended that direction.
Alyssa, appreciate you. We'll do it next Tuesday. So Alyssa
All right,
Orange
guys,
with
thanks.
us. Usually Tuesdays, but today Wednesday instead. Want to put you on to Roback, the brand that defines comfort, hoodies, joggers, polos, performance tees that are all about best fit and best feel, because what sets Roback apart is the fabric quality. Everything they make feels buttery soft, it's stretchy in all the right ways, and it's just so comfortable you're never going to want to remove these things. Roback hoodies are the softest hoodie you'll own. The Sprint joggers are lightweight, breathable, and super soft. And the Azalea collection, which is a limited time drop that you don't want to miss, is right now live in time for spring. Plus, you get 20% off your first order at roback.com when you use the code RUSH25 at checkout. That's RHOBACK, roback.com, RUSH25 at checkout for 20% off your first order at Roback. If you want to get with us, the number on halftime is the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963, and we are right back.
Man, I love y'all, man. I'm telling you, y'all really help me. Y'all get me through the day every day.
This is Halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for
your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Keep your haymaking season rolling with big savings on New Holland hay tools at WT Equipment. Right now, choose 0% financing or cash back on select disc bind, disc mower conditioners, and roll belt rounders, and save thousands. You'll cut with more confidence, bale faster and tighter, and save for seasons to come. Ask about our industry-leading warranties, too. Hurry into WT Equipment for these ready-to-roll savings. Offer ends June 30th. Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshield, and slick road quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one baby shad. The original baby shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original baby shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Join ESPN Arkansas for the Morning Rush and Halftime, live this Friday at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren. It's their first annual fish fry and grand opening. Come by for a delicious free fish platter, fried pie, store prizes, and a whole lot more. It's the grand opening and first annual fish fry at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren. 120 North 30th Street, just off Kibler in Van Buren. Join us this Friday at AAA Business Systems in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I was born to make you love me, so listen when I say every chance I get. To rub you and hug you, my pet. Chance I get.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Oh, Matt Jones, I could feel it a moment ago when you brought up the draft with
It's
Alyssa.
here, huh?
I mean, it kind of bring back the memories of the excitement of the day before for you.
Well, it's just kind of, you put in all this hard work, and when you're a youngster, like, when you're 7th grade, 8th grade, I mean, you all kind of dream of being a professional athlete. At least I did when you're that age. And then you got to get a little lucky. You got to be blessed with athletic ability, no question about it. Had a lot of, my parents and coaches, a lot of people that help you out that you just, it's kind of, it kind of goes out for everybody. It's you feel like, because you can't do it alone. And so you kind of got a team, and it's, it's pretty cool. I remember the draft, and then it was like my flight was like at 5:30 in the morning the next day, so it's like it just started the very next day. And, all the coaches, all the players that tell you the longest year is your very first year, because as soon as that draft happens, I mean, as soon as college football gets over, you're just working out, you go into it, and then as soon as the draft happens, you're there. You're flying to whatever city that is, and you're looking at a place to rent or buy whatever you're going to do, and it's real life stuff.
For you, I feel like it's just different than so many other athletes. Just like we're talking about Landon Jackson, and you don't know if he's going to be back of the first round or second round at some point. Even like talking about Boogie Flan, we don't know where he's going to get drafted. He probably will get drafted, but where would it be?
If Boogie Flan was 6'7" with this skill set, he'd be the number 1 overall pick. And he'd be 2 behind Cooper Flagg. He's just 5'11". He's 5'11" and doesn't play above the rim. He's got a lot of great qualities about him. I love his game. He's just, you got to be touched by the hand of God to play in the NBA. You got to be a pterodactyl. You got to be. It's how many times you see in the last 20 years, Allen Iverson took a team to the finals as far as that size of a guard. They just doesn't. You got to be built a little different if you're going to make it in that league.
Did it matter to you what number you were going to be picked?
Not at all. I didn't care.
So many guys would be like, well, they remember all the players that were drafted in front of them and take that as a chip on the shoulder. You're not that kind of person. That's not what I'm asking. It's just a matter of there's a pride that goes into everything that you do in terms of competition, and there's competing on the field, but then there's also maybe competing in the eyes of what the talent evaluators think, but not everybody that thinks they're going to be drafted in the first round is drafted in the first round. And there's going to be some disappointment that goes along with it. Like you showed up there knowing it was going to be a first round. I just wonder if it would have mattered between. I don't remember the number that you went, but if there was a difference of 3 or 4 slots, that would have felt like something.
Here's what I always remember: I got somebody fired because I got drafted ahead of Aaron Rodgers. So somebody. I always feel bad. So that was, you want to do good. Obviously, there's Coach Steve Walters, was my receiver coach. He was one of my favorite coaches. He was one of those coaches, Phil, that I didn't want to let down. Every time you go out there, you want to try to, make him happy, make almost like your father type deal. Every time you do it, you hope he's proud of you.
Yeah, you hope absolutely. You'd hope. I remember Aaron Rodgers. Did he I think I remember him naming every player that was drafted in front of him. So we would have said your name then. And I just think of.
I wonder if he'd have said Matthew Jones.
I don't think he's got that kind of sentiment. Probably not.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I would like to see the little Hall of Famers that were never drafted or were drafted incredibly late. Mike Piazza. Remember Piazza?
Yeah, for the Mets.
Catcher for the Dodgers, Mets, maybe a week with the Marlins. And Piazza went in the Major League Draft in the 60th round as a favor to Tommy Lasorda is why Piazza was selected. And now there's only 20 rounds. Then you can have as many rounds as you wanted. I really think he was like a 60th round pick. He's in the Hall of Fame. I would like to see if Mike Piazza knows everybody that was drafted in front of him, which would be that'd be everybody.
I know. Hey, Maurice Jones-Drew got the number 32 because he didn't go in the first round. He said everybody passed on me. I was like, well, we drafted you. Jacksonville drafted you. So, but he's like, in the first round, nobody did. So you're right. They all kind of look for that chip. You're exactly right. And you don't make it this far. Obviously, you got to be blessed, but you got to be ultra competitive. If you don't have a competitive spirit, you'll get chewed up and spit out.
877-377-6963 to get with us here. And we're also reminded here by BE that if you are Matt Jones, then you played for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, we did.
By the way, that kid who played the outfield for A&M last week that I was joking that I was going to pronounce his name Yamal because it was spelled Jamal, you actually are supposed to pronounce his name Yamal.
Is he so he's not from the States? He'd be
Oh, he's from the States.
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, I could probably tell you exactly where he's
The
from.
best
He went to Alabama State.
I love it. The best soccer player in the world that's under 20 is Yamal.
But these guys spells his name with a Y.
Well, it's true, but he's not from here. That mean it might translate to a soft J.
If there's a soft J, can there be a hard Y that's pronounced differently than Y? I don't know. I do like the idea of the English language.
Was
being
he any
a little bit
good?
more fun to play
Was
with.
Jamal any good? The A&M guy was he? Do you remember if he was?
I'll tell you what happened with he was one of those guys that was like he entered the season, but he entered the series batting .224, and he ended up with I think it was 3 or 4 hits in the series. So he performed a little bit better than I would have liked to see Yamal perform. Yeah. Hey, the NFL draft starts tomorrow, as you just heard. Matt as fired up as he could be. Twin Peaks is on the clock too. They'll have all the NFL draft action at the Ultimate Sports Lodge, 7 o'clock tomorrow. Round 1 kicks off, and you want to be at Twin Peaks and Rogers to witness it. Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks either. They have everything that you're looking for. Tequila cocktails, a great bourbon selection, top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls with local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails, and an adventurous drink menu that's second to none, and, of course, 29-degree draft beers. That's at Twin Peaks in Rogers. You can get online, twinpeaksrestaurant.com, to order your Twin Peaks favorites to go, or just show up at their lodge in Rogers and enjoy their famous beautiful views, Twin Peaks. Back in a moment to wrap up halftime after this.
It's up to them how they want this season to be. If they want to turn it around this week, we can. And if you don't, they better be going to class.
This is halftime. Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
It's time to tee up for big wins at Choctaw Casino and Resort Bacola. The Just Chipping It giveaway is in full swing, giving you a shot at your share of $70,000 in cash. Saturdays in April, we're giving away up to $3,500 every hour from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and $5,000 at midnight. Earn entries by playing with your Choctaw Rewards Club card. Swing big and score your share of $70,000 at Choctaw Casino and Resort Bacola. This is how Bacola plays.
Family, that's what sets us apart. Crabtree RV Center, founded in 1950 by E.J. and Aline Crabtree, family owned and operated, serving Arkansas for 74 years.
I've been working full-time here at Crabtree RV since 1996 after graduating from the University of Arkansas, where I'm proud to carry on my grandparents' legacy.
I know if Mom and Dad could see Crabtree RVs today, they would be so proud.
Crabtree RV Center in Alma, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Insurance company throwing you a curveball? Are they crowding the plate and not offering you a fair settlement? If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need an experienced attorney to fight for you. I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, no win, no fee. Call Mock Legal Solutions today for your free consultation. 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South C Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Here's the thing, can't stop thinking about you. Yeah, I'm riding. It's the only thing that I know how to do. I don't know what to say. It's so far away. I won't
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
All right, time to wrap things up here on halftime with a reminder that we've got the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out shortly. It'll involve our talks with Grant Hall. In the first hour, we had Clay Henry. You can read, of course, a Whole Hog Sports on during the second hour. Alyssa Orange joined us about 40 minutes ago. Thanks to Eastside Liquor for sponsoring the Halftime Podcast for over 3 years now. Eastside Liquor's at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 479-452-7311. Tomorrow, usual Thursday with Dudley Dawson, Bubba Carpenter, and Brett Dolan. I've got to get out at 1 o'clock. Well, actually got to get out kind of earlier than usual tomorrow because we've got a 1 o'clock flight to Florida. And but you don't worry about Florida right now. You worry about Little Rock instead. I got baseball at 5 o'clock, 4:30 airtime, so I'd obviously be out on all of the Major League games, NBA playoffs. What do you watch tonight,
We
Matt?
got Arsenal and Crystal Palace right now at 2 o'clock. It's always, what'd your coach say? It starts with an F and ends with an off when you're talking about Arsenal.
It was Tim Corbin said his message for his Vanderbilt Commodores after losing yesterday just started with an F and ended with a K. Just one word, not two. Oh.
Tell me how you really feel.
It's for a team that had coming off a weekend sweep. I don't know. I thought that was a little over the top.
And shout out to everybody being so kind. A gentleman, bought my coffee today at the coffee store. Say, just happy birthday wishes. Coach Nutt texted me yesterday. So just everybody being and shout out to Amber Heard.
Absolutely. I mean, I just think, Matt, that the glow on your birthday lasts a little bit longer than the glow on her birthday, just from what happened a few years ago. So obviously you get a little extra time to celebrate with a free coffee this morning. It's well done. Very well done. Christian, what do you watch tonight? You got what do you put on?
I might watch a little NBA if I can muster the.
If you can stomach it.
Ugh. And then
you chosen a team to root for now?
No, but it's hard to look away. If I were to switch teams, and I haven't yet, but it'd probably be the Thunder.
You're shopping. Sounds like you're shopping though.
I can't.
Thunder got some Arkansas boys. I like it.
Well, that's the big thing with me is I gotta have some kind of connection, even just some kind of.
If the Thunder make the NBA Finals, is somebody in this crew somebody's got to go over there, right? Even if it's the Western Conference Finals.
At that point, we just become Thunders fans.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Why not? Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a moment, so stay with us here on ESPN Arkansas, and we'll back with you tomorrow. So for Christian, for Matt, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.